The day Emily Johnson, a 28-year-old software developer, walked into Dr. Smith's office, she expected answers, solutions, and most importantly, relief. For months, she had been experiencing a nagging pain in her legs, which gradually turned into a severe discomfort, affecting her mobility. Emily, known among her friends for her active lifestyle and love for hiking, found herself struggling with simple tasks like walking and climbing stairs. Dr. Smith, a reputable physician with years of experience, was her hope for a way back to normalcy. However, that fateful consultation marked the beginning of Emily's harrowing journey. After a brief examination and some routine tests, Dr. Smith diagnosed her with a minor nerve compression, assuring her that with rest and medication, she would be back on her feet in no time. Relieved, Emily followed the prescribed treatment, expecting to recover fully. But days turned into weeks, and her condition worsened. The pain became unbearable, and her mobility decreased significantly. Unbeknownst to her, Dr. Smith's diagnosis was gravely incorrect, a mistake that would alter the course of her life irreversibly. As Emily's condition deteriorated, her frustration and fear grew. She returned to Dr. Smith, who remained confident in his initial diagnosis and attributed the worsening symptoms to stress and overexertion. Emily, desperate for answers, sought a second opinion. This time, the news was devastating. The new doctor, Dr. Martinez, after a thorough examination and advanced tests, diagnosed her with a progressive neurological disorder that had been aggravated by the lack of proper treatment. The reality of her situation hit Emily like a tidal wave. The misdiagnosis had cost her precious time, and now she faced a future where her ability to walk, once taken for granted, was slipping away. The active life she loved, hiking, running, exploring, seemed like distant memories, replaced by doctor appointments, treatments, and a growing dependence on others for her daily needs. Her condition required aggressive therapy and a cocktail of medications, but the damage was already significant. Emily grappled with a mix of emotions: anger at Dr. Smith for his negligence, fear of what her future held, and grief for the life she had lost. Her days were a blur of physical therapy sessions, which brought little improvement, and long nights filled with anxiety and sorrow. As she navigated this new reality, Emily's relationships began to strain. Her friends, unsure of how to support her, slowly drifted away. Her family, though well-intentioned, often smothered her with overprotectiveness, making her feel more disabled. Emily found herself increasingly isolated, battling not just a physical ailment, but a deep sense of loneliness and despair. The climax of Emily's ordeal came several months after her correct diagnosis, during a particularly grueling physical therapy session. As she struggled to perform simple exercises, something within her snapped. Frustration and despair overwhelmed her, and in a moment of utter hopelessness, she broke down in tears. The physical therapist, a kind and patient professional, gave her the space to express her anguish, sitting silently beside her. That evening, Emily sat alone in her apartment, surrounded by the walls that had witnessed her relentless battle and gradual decline. She realized that her life had reached a turning point. The Emily who once conquered hiking trails and really shared independence was gone. In her place was someone she barely recognized, someone confined, restricted, and broken. The severity of her situation became undeniably clear. She was facing a lifetime of challenges and limitations. The anger towards Dr. Smith for his misdiagnosis still burned within her, but she knew that her anger alone couldn't change her circumstances. She was at a crossroads: either continue down the path of bitterness and grief, or try to find a new way to live in this altered reality. It was a night of soul-searching, of confronting the darkest fears and deepest wounds. Emily grappled with questions that had no easy answers. Could she find a way to accept her new life? Was there a path forward amidst this turmoil? The uncertainty was suffocating, but as the night wore on, a quiet determination began to take root in her heart. In the weeks following her emotional breakdown, Emily began the arduous process of redefining her life within the confines of her new limitations. The first step was accepting her condition, a reality that was neither easy nor quick. She started to attend support groups where she met others who lived with similar challenges. Hearing their stories of resilience and witnessing their strength in adversity provided Emily with a glimmer of hope. She also decided to take legal action against Dr. Smith. The lawsuit was not just about seeking financial compensation. It was a fight for acknowledgement of her suffering due to his negligence. The legal battle was long and draining, but Emily felt it was necessary to give a voice to her pain and to prevent similar mistakes from happening to others. Physically, Emily's condition stabilized, but the possibility of walking independently remained distant. She adapted her apartment to be more accessible and began using mobility aids. These changes, once a source of grief, gradually became part of her new normal. The transformation wasn't just physical. Emily's perspective on life underwent a profound change. She discovered a newfound appreciation for the smaller joys of life, the warmth of the sun on her face, the laughter of her niece during weekend visits, the satisfaction of completing a challenging project at work. These moments, once overlooked, now held significant value. Emily also found solace in creativity, turning to painting as an outlet for her emotions. Her artworks, often depicting landscapes she once explored, became a bridge between her past and present, a celebration of her journey. As time passed, Emily's life settled into a rhythm she had never anticipated but had learned to embrace. The lawsuit against Dr. Smith concluded with a settlement, but for Emily, the closure was more emotional than financial. She had stood up for herself and in doing so found a strength she didn't know she had. Her condition remained a constant challenge, but it no longer defined her. Emily found new ways to experience adventures. From adaptive sports to travel with specialized groups, she became an advocate for accessibility, channeling her experiences into positive change for others facing similar challenges. The transformation within Emily was profound. She learned to see her life not through the lens of what was lost, but through what was gained: resilience, empathy, and a deeper understanding of the human spirit. Her relationships deepened, her career took on new meaning, and her art became a testament to her journey. Emily's story, marked by a tragic misdiagnosis, evolved into one of resilience and reinvention. It's a reminder of the human capacity to adapt and find hope in the darkest of times. Though the path she walked was one she would have never chosen, it led her to discover strengths and joys she might have never known otherwise.